What does the ultimate visual of the biggest boy band in the world do on his absolute first day of freedom? You know, you'd think he'd be on a velvet sofa, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like a highly controlled studio environment, perfectly lit.
Yeah, wearing head-to-toe couture for this glossy comeback interview. But instead, picture this.
Okay.
We are looking at a cinematic slow-motion shot of a solitary figure standing on a desolate, rain-swept mudflat. He is covered in muck, he is exhausted, and he is about to be yelled at by an ex-soccer player.
It is just so chaotic. But honestly, it is the moment the fandom had been holding its collective breath for.
Today we are looking at why Jin's muddy, chaotic return to the spotlight wasn't just a variety show stunt, but actually a masterclass in global PR and psychological strategy.
And, you know, the reality of how he played his cards was even wilder and honestly much smarter than any of us could have ever predicted.
Welcome to Starscope K Report. Join Eric and Minji as they ride the Hallyu wave, uncovering the biggest K-pop comebacks, shocking industry controversies, and major K-drama updates. From internet-breaking rumors to historic chart milestones, we dive deep into the world of Korean entertainment.
So imagine you are a fan who has been waiting 18 agonizing months. Like, the military hiatus is the dreaded drought for any stan.
Oh, the absolute worst.
Right. You wait, you stream the old content, you basically survive on whatever crumbs the agency left in the vault. But then, June 12th, 2024, hits.
The big day.
Exactly. Jin becomes the very first BTS member to be discharged. The fandom is weeping, celebrating, waiting for the grand return. And what do we get as his very first post-hiatus variety appearance?
Pure, unadulterated, muddy chaos.
Yes.
Let's look at the timeline here because the turnaround is fascinating. This was filmed at the end of June 2024. That is mere days after he took off his military uniform.
Which is just wild to think about.
It really is. He head straight to NBC's half-star hotel in Lost Island, specifically episodes 15 and 16, which aired in August. And if you aren't familiar with the mechanics of this show, it's brilliant.
It's so good.
It is a 0.5-star deserted island stay hosted by CEO Ahn Jung-hwan. It's a spin-off of It's Lucky to Not Fight, and the entire gimmick is that it strips celebrities of their luxury. You have to physically work for your survival.
Which is exactly why the fandom absolutely lost their minds. I mean, he gave us major Law of the Jungle 2016 vibes.
Oh, for sure.
He showed up with this incredibly cute, short post-military haircut, looking totally fresh-faced, and immediately threw himself into the harujal, you know, the sea work.
And we are talking about the world's top 5 mudflats here. The physical toll of just walking in that kind of dense mud is insane.
Yeah, and he is out there getting completely covered in it.
But it wasn't just him suffering for the cameras. I mean, he was actively driving the comedy. You're watching him build his own fishing rod out of sheer willpower.
Confidently declaring he's gonna catch tuna.
Right. Ahn Jung-hwan doesn't even believe him at first, but Jin is out there literally pulling sea cucumbers straight out of the rocks.
It was amazing. And he doesn't stop at the ocean either.
No, he doesn't. He and Sandeul from B1A4 head up into the mountains and actually manage to forage for Deodeok, which is a highly prized mountain root.
That reunion with Sandeul was such a treat. But what really stands out is that amidst all that intense manual labor, Jin never loses that signature variety show wit.
Never.
There is this hilariously iconic moment where the wind and rain are just battering them on this island. Jin completely casually leans his entire body weight against Ahn Jung-hwan to block the weather.
I remember this. CEO Ahn just looks at him totally baffled and grumbles, "Am I a sofa?"
Yes. And Jin, without missing a single beat, goes, "Good. The world seems to be mine."
The audacity is just incredible. Ahn Jung-hwan even laughs and says, "My wife and you are the only ones who use Ahn Jung-hwan."
And Jin just smiles and says, "Even that is an honor."
So good. But I really want to dig into the food, because it wasn't just comedy, it was a legitimate culinary showcase. The workers come back with all these ingredients, and they team up with the legendary Chef Lee Yeon-bok.
Oh man, if you watch this show hungry, it was absolute torture.
Seriously, the techniques they were using on a deserted island were incredible.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the sora sujebi.
Oh, that amazing spicy and cool conch soup for breakfast.
Yeah, Chef Lee suggests a seasoned conch and deodeok dish, and Jin jumps right in. They are showing off these flashy cooking skills together, matching each other's rhythm.
Chef Lee literally praises Jin's cooking, saying it tastes like it came from a sea snail restaurant in Jongno.
That is high praise from a master chef.
It really is. And we absolutely cannot forget the K-pizza. Like, Jin is a famous pizza lover, so Chef Lee suggests making Seokjin, a clam pancake, using the dongjak clams Jin dug out of the mudflats himself.
Right, you have Jin standing there, doing this high-level dough flipping in the air, creating the perfect pancake entirely by himself.
Exactly. And at the end of the stay, Jin rates this brutal, muddy island a 4.8 out of 5 and cutely asks to be called a chef again.
Which brings up a really interesting split in how the internet reacted.
Oh, yeah, the reactions were so divided.
The domestic K-nets absolutely adored this. They loved seeing this 30-year-old man acting so adorably chaotic, working so hard, and just being utterly unpretentious.
But on the flip side, international fans were experiencing a full-blown panic attack.
Because of the streaming logistics.
Yes. Oh, the platform drama was so real, and it really highlights the global demand for his content.
Let's look at the economics of this for a second, because I find this fascinating. Usually, this variety show streams for free in the US on a platform called On Demand Korea, or ODK.
Right, usually.
But the exact second Jin-specific episodes dropped, ODK locked them behind a premium paywall. It was subscribers-only content, specifically just for his 2 episodes.
Which caused total chaos. International fans were scrambling, running over to Viki to catch the subtitles.
It was wild.
It was the ultimate, dang, Jin, so popular moment for the fans.
But I have to ask you about the strategy here. I mean, if you know third-party streaming platforms are going to monetize your appearance this heavily, and you are the ultimate visual of the biggest boy group on the planet who just finished military service, why choose this?
It's a great question.
Why choose a grueling, muddy, 0.5-star island where you're digging in the dirt for your grand return instead of something you can tightly control?
Well, if you look at the fan forums we sourced for this deep dive, the general consensus is that this was the ultimate proof of his raw authenticity.
Okay, I can see that.
But structurally, it's a brilliant psychological play. I mean, if he had come back and just sat on a plush velvet chair in a designer suit for an hour, it would have been beautiful, sure.
Yeah, standard idol stuff.
Right, but it wouldn't have been Jin. K-pop fandoms, especially at the level of BTS, thrive on the parasocial connection, on seeing the human behind the idol.
That makes a lot of sense.
By choosing to get covered in mud, to look exhausted, to make bad dad jokes in the pouring rain, he was sending a direct message to the fans. He's basically saying, I haven't changed. I'm still the same guy you waited for.
It shatters the untouchable idol illusion and replaces it with genuine, relatable warmth.
Exactly. He completely disarmed any post-military awkwardness by literally diving headfirst into the mud.
And that raw authenticity he showed on the island wasn't just a variety show gimmick. It was actually the perfect psychological primer for his music drop.
Right.
Because when he finally released his solo work, fans were already primed to see him as an unfiltered, highly accessible artist.
But wait till you hear what netizens uncovered next. Because this island was just the launch pad for a global all-kill.
Which brings us to the music.
Yeah.
Because the sheer velocity of his comeback is hard to wrap your head around.
It truly was an avalanche of content. Just imagine you're a fan who has been starving for content for a year and a half.
Yeah.
You wake up, and suddenly there is a buffet of music right in your lap.
Let's break down this unbelievable timeline. First, in October 2024, he drops the extended version of Super Tuna.
A masterpiece, honestly.
And the music video for this is incredible. Filmed in Seokjin, on the beach, featuring Jin literally proposing to a CGI tuna, asking it to bite his fishing rod.
It is peak Jin humor, bridging that variety show goofiness with his music.
But then, things get very serious. November 15, 2024, he drops his debut solo EP, Happy.
And Happy was exactly what the industry needed at that moment. 6 tracks, heavily leaning into that pop rock sound that suits his vocal colors so perfectly.
We get the pre-release single, I'll Be There, in late October, followed by the main track, Running Wild. But he didn't stop there. And this is where the timeline gets aggressive.
Yeah, brace yourself.
Barely 6 months later, in May 2025, he hits us with a shocking follow-up. His second full album, Echo, led by the single Don't Say You Love Me.
And immediately after that, he launches into his massive solo Run Seokjin EP tour, hitting cities from Osaka and Anaheim to London and Amsterdam.
It's just relentless.
You have to understand the fandom commentary during this period. We barely had time to learn the fan chants for Happy before Echo dropped.
I can only imagine the panic.
To go from a military hiatus directly into releasing 2 distinct projects, plus a weekly variety spin-off show with Run Jin and a global world tour, I mean, the whiplash was real.
The factual breakdown of his chart performance during this blitz is staggering, and I want to talk about how a K-pop idol achieves this post-military.
Let's hear the numbers.
Happy hits number 4 on the Billboard 200. Echo climbs even higher, hitting number 3. Over on the Hot 100, Running Wild debuts at an incredibly impressive number 35.
Which is huge for a solo release.
Exactly. And Don't Say You Love Me enters at number 90. I look at this, and I have a theory. It's like he hit unpause on a video game.
Okay, how so?
You know when you take a break from a massive RPG, and you think you're going to have to spend hours leveling back up and relearning the controls? Jin didn't do that. He just spawned back in at maximum power, fully equipped, and immediately took down the final boss.
I see why you'd say he spawned back in at maximum power, but I actually have to disagree with that analogy.
Oh, interesting. Why?
He didn't just spawn in, he entirely rewrote the game's code while he was enlisted.
Okay, I'm listening.
In the K-pop industry, a comeback after a long hiatus is usually handled very delicately. Agencies test the waters with a digital single to see if the fandom is still organized enough for bulk buying or streaming parties.
Right, checking the temperature.
But HYBE and Jin clearly recognized that the demand was at a boiling point. The fandom didn't want a slow drip, they wanted the floodgates open.
And they certainly got that.
Yeah. And by delivering 2 distinct projects, the bright pop rock energy of Happy followed by the much deeper resonant tones of Echo, he wasn't just picking up where he left off.
He was showing range.
Exactly. He was showcasing a completely evolved duality as an artist. He proved he could carry a global tour entirely on his own shoulders, without the safety net of his members.
And the fans organized instantly. To get those Billboard 200 numbers, you need massive physical album sales, which means the fandom was fully mobilized, pre-ordering multiple variations.
Absolutely.
And coordinating streaming algorithms across Spotify and Apple Music the exact second the tracks dropped.
Yeah.
It was a perfectly executed military-style operation by the fans, matched by Jin's relentless output.
Exactly. The synergy between the artist's output and the fandom's organizational skills was a global all-kill. He swept the charts, and he did it on his own terms.
If you love staying updated on your bias and the rest of the Hallyu Wave, make sure you're subscribed to Starscope K Report. We got even bigger scoops ahead.
Yes. Definitely hit subscribe so you don't miss a thing.
Because later in the deep dive, we'll talk about a shocking business plot twist nobody saw coming.
Right. We've talked about the island variety star. We've talked about the chart-topping global musician. But we have to talk about how he balances all of this with being a brand king.
Oh, the endorsements.
Yeah, because Jin's visual power post-enlistment went into absolute overdrive, from high fashion to everyday staples.
The man secured massive global ambassadorships. We are talking luxury jeweler Fred. We are talking Gucci. Laneige tapped him as their first male global ambassador for a major campaign.
It's an insane lineup.
And All Yoga brought him on board to expand their brand in South Korea. And in a move that felt almost destined by the universe, he officially became the global brand ambassador for Jin Ramen.
The Jin Ramen partnership is iconic.
Truly.
But what's really amazing is how seamlessly he transitions from serving high fashion face for Gucci to rocking casual athleisure for Alo Yoga.
It's a skill.
It takes a very specific kind of charisma to sell luxury diamonds one day and instant noodles the next and make both feel totally authentic.
But I am looking at this next move, and I have to admit, I'm confused. We go from high fashion to, well, traditional Korean liquor.
Yes, we do.
Why would a global pop star pivot to traditional agriculture? Is this a tax move, a passion project, or like a long-term retirement plan? Explain the strategy here, because on the surface, it feels so out of left field.
Welcome to the unexpected CEO era. And it actually makes perfect strategic sense when you look at Korean law and culture.
Okay, lay it on me.
So the reports come out that Jin is teaming up with celebrity chef Baek Jung-hwan and veteran alcohol artisan Park Rockdam to launch a brand new traditional liquor brand called Egener.
Okay, Egan.
Right. And they're setting this up through Yesan Doga, an agricultural corporation affiliated with Baek's company. The brand is going to incorporate local produce from Yesan, which is Baek Jung-hwan's hometown.
Now, you might be thinking this liquor brand is just a celebrity vanity project, like a Hollywood actor slapping their name on a tequila brand.
That is exactly what most people thought, but it's actually deeply tied to Korean agricultural and e-commerce laws.
Wait, really?
Yeah. In South Korea, regular alcohol cannot be sold online or delivered directly to consumers. However, traditional liquor made with local agricultural ingredients is exempt from this law to protect local farmers.
Oh, wow.
So by creating a traditional mangioli using local Yusan produce, Jin is tapping into a market that allows for direct-to-consumer online sales. It is a massive business insight.
That is genius. So it's not just a hobby, it's a highly calculated, culturally resonant e-commerce strategy.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this is where you realize Jin has been playing 4D chess for years.
I feel like I'm missing something.
Do you remember back in November 2022, right before he enlisted, he released that web show, The Drunken Truth?
Also known as Jin's traditional alcohol journey, yes.
On that show, he learned the intensive process of brewing alcohol, including Mejiali, with none other than Park Rock Dam and Baek Jong-won.
No way. He was with them back then.
Yes. At the time, we all just thought it was a fun, charming little YouTube series to leave with the fans before he went to the military. But no, he was planting the seeds.
That is incredible.
That show was basically on-camera research and development for a massive future business venture.
That completely changes how you view everything he does. He was doing market research disguised as variety content.
Always working, always planning.
And what's truly remarkable is how he balances this budding business empire and his superstar status with a deep commitment to philanthropy.
This part is so important.
In the midst of all this album promotion and business planning, in January 2025, he donates 100 million won to the Korea University Medical Center.
That's a huge donation.
It was for their Global Goodwill Life Love Project, specifically to help patients in underdeveloped countries who are suffering from economic difficulties and lack access to medical services.
It just rounds out his character arc so perfectly. I mean, he's not just a musician or an entertainer or a shrewd businessman.
Right.
He's actively using the immense privilege and platform of the Hallyu Wave to affect real, tangible change in the world.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? We started this deep dive looking at a guy standing in the pouring rain on a 0.5-star mud flat, arguing with an ex-soccer player about being a human sofa.
And we end up looking at a multi-hyphenate global powerhouse.
Exactly. He's effortlessly balancing chaotic variety shows, a chart-topping world tour with complex streaming strategies, luxury fashion ambassadorships, and a highly strategic traditional liquor empire.
This raises an important question, and it's something for everyone listening to really ponder as we watch the rest of the industry move forward.
What's that?
With Jin flawlessly executing this wildly diverse comeback, what does this multi-hyphenate blueprint mean for the rest of the BTS members as they complete their service?
Has Jin just created the ultimate survival guide and the brand new standard for third-generation K-pop idols entering their 30s?
I think he has.
Because the old model used to be that you come back from the military, you do a quiet solo ballad, maybe take on a serious brooding acting role in a K-drama, and gently transition out of the intense idol spotlight.
But Jin entirely rejected that premise. He proved that turning 30 and finishing your service doesn't mean you have to slow down. It means you can level up.
Absolutely.
You can be the adorable, chaotic matinee at heart, that youngest member energy on a mud flat. And you can be the suave CEO navigating agricultural business law. And you can be the global pop star selling out arenas in London and Dallas all at the same time.
He didn't just open a door for the rest of his members, he knocked the entire wall down.
It goes all the way back to that exact moment on the island.
Which one?
When he looked at the camera, completely covered in mud, getting battered by the rain, and casually said, "The world seems to be mine."
He wasn't just making a quick joke for the variety show edit, he was accurately predicting the next 2 years of his career.
You've been listening to Starscope K-Report, where Eric and Minji bring you the stories shaping K-pop, K-dramas, and the global Hallyu Wave. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.